Raider Nation, what is the deal, man? Once again, it's the guy Panama Fargo, and I'm back to y'all live with another episode of the Raider Rundown. And today, man, we're going to be discussing why Antonio Pierce should be the long-term solution of the Las Vegas Raiders' further head coaching spot, right? Why I think it's going to be more beneficial in the future if he does get the job, and what I think he needs to do to really secure the job to be the full-time head coach. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get the intro started. Let's get the show cracking.
As a young guy, I had a dream that someday I would build the finest organization in professional sports.
Raider Nation, what is the deal? You're back for another episode of the Raider Rundown. Make sure you guys are tapping on the like and on the subscribe button, and please hit on that little notification bell so you get updated whenever I drop episodes like this one right here. But like I was saying, man, we got to go over why I think Antonio Pierce will be the long-term solution for the Las Vegas Raiders, and why I think it's more beneficial if he is. Also, what I think he needs to do in order for him to be the long-term solution in Mark Davis's eyes. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started. Now, some of you may be asking, why am I talking about this topic? Because there is still that subsection of Raider Nation that views Antonio Pierce as just an interim. He will be nothing more than that, right? And some people are already waiting for other coaches to be interviewed or to be looked at, i.e. Jim Harbaugh, right? But I think if Antonio Pierce can be the long-term solution, which he has shown in this 3-game span, to me personally, in this 3-game span, he's shown that he has the ability to not only lead these men, but get better himself. All right. He has the ability to want to get better himself. You can see he's making rookie head coaching mistakes as we go in his trial run this year. And every single game up to this span that he's been coaching, he's gotten better at something, right? And he's learning as he goes. Okay. So what do I always say a coach needs to have? First of all, a coach needs to be good at his time management. And that's something that I think Antonio Pierce, to be fair, he can be better at. He has to be better at time management in order to, be a more successful coach. I think that's something that he has to work on, something that he needs to continue to hone in on. So it's not the greatest, but it's not terrible either. He does understand the situations, okay? But two, is he good situationally? Now, when things come up, all right, as far as crucial downs, crucial drive, is he good in them aspects? Is he able to keep the team calm under pressure and at the same time be able to ride the roller coaster that is a football game? Sometimes the game ain't gonna go your way, all right, in certain situations. Is he able to then adapt? Okay, I'd say he's done a pretty good job, but playing off of that, is he able to make adjustments? He's been able to make adjustments so far. Every time I've seen in this 3-game span that I've seen Antonio Pierce come out in the second half with this team, they've made some type of adjustments. Now, realistically, you have to look on the defensive side of the ball because he is a defensive-minded coach. So he's going to have more of a say, more of a hand in what the defense is doing. And thinking about it in that aspect, the defense has been fantastic up to this point. Fantastic. And if that's going to be a reflection of the head coach, the defense, because that is where he's coming from, so far he's checked every box on that, right? So I think he has this team going in the right direction. Now, getting all that backstory, why do I think he's a good fit long-term? Let's go into the reasons. One, I think that he is at the very least going to have players ready to play. He's going to have players ready to play. He's going to have execution and intensity high, right? Because you can see that he likes to pay attention to detail. He likes to make sure everything is oriented in the way they need to be. And it's showed multiple times in this coaching stint so far. I remember, I think it was the Jets game. They're about to throw the Hail Mary. He calls the timeout to go ahead and make sure that the defense is set up correctly, set up properly. So those are things right there that show me, okay, he's getting better and he pays attention to the details. That's one. So at the very least, he's going to have these players ready to play. Number two, I believe that he can be a person that, how do I want to say this? I believe that he can be a person that develops young players. Okay, I think that for too long we haven't had a coach that doesn't know how to properly develop these draft picks and properly develop our young talent so they may become something. And I think him and a staff he puts in place will be there to help develop a player. I think that he'll be strong in this category. 3, I think that he will be able to spot talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Being a former player and just being a former player at any level, you can pretty much see what if a person's talented or not. All right, especially if you played the game, you know what you're looking for. You know exactly what the makeup of a football player you want on your team is. I think that he will be strong in that category. And last but not least, I think he will have players wanting to come and play here. I think that is a big factor as well. I think other players from other teams are taking notice on what's going on with the Raiders right now. And they understand it's starting to be a little culture shift. And it wouldn't surprise me, a lot of players, especially, I keep saying, on the defensive side of the ball, wanted to come and play for him. I think that is an understatement in its own as well. Not only do we have the city, and we have the no state tax, but a coach that players want to come and play for and want to work for, understated, bro. And I think that's something that Antonio Pierce can bring. Now, going farther than that, why else do I want Antonio Pierce to get this job? 1, you be able to keep a lot of the same things you have right now in place. All right. And mainly I'm talking about on the defensive side of the ball with Patrick Graham and most of that staff. Okay. I want to keep that in place with Patrick Graham and all of them because these players are responding. These players are playing very, very well under Patrick Graham in the system. We see players now in their second year of the system starting to blossom, starting to flourish. And I think this is a trend we need to continue. What's the thing we haven't had in years? Continuity. We have not retained continuity. And I think with Antonio Pierce staying, he would be able to convince Patrick Graham, all right, let's stay. Let's continue to add to what we have. All right. And now that we want to add to what we have, we can now start to build a better, more, let's say, championship-style defense. And that's something I really want to hone in on. Now, I think even if AP stays, I think the offensive coordinator and everything is probably going to be a new one. We're going to have a new one because with a new quarterback, which I'm anticipating as of right now, with the new quarterback comes a new offensive coordinator. So you're going to have to, and a new offensive staff. So you're going to have to think about those things. But I think that, Antonio Pierce can be a person that adapts to whatever player he gets. Whatever player comes in here, he'll be able to adapt and put the staff in accordingly. So that's one. And even with him, even him coming in and retaining the job, it would allow us to not have to do a full-on goddamn rebuild. And this is the thing that I think a lot of people don't want to happen or may not understand that's going to happen. If you get a new head coach, most of the pieces that we have are from a different regime that, especially on the offensive side of the ball, it's from a whole different regime. So it's going to get tore down. All of that shit going to get tore down to build it anew. You know what I mean? We're going to go through another thing of a head coach wanting to do his own thing. Another GM wanting to do his own thing, which I think, Antonio Pierce retaining his job will help for Champ Kelly retaining his job. Now, that might be a separate little hiring there. Champ Kelly might retain the job regardless. But I think him, Antonio Pierce, and Champ Kelly have this sort of synergy together, and I think they'll be good together, special together. So I think that going forward, y'all let me know down below that Antonio Pierce getting this head coaching job might be what's best in the long term because not a lot of things need to change, but just get added to, right? But with a new head coach, you're going to see some change. You're going to see some things that we may like, but they might not like, all right? And some players getting shipped on out of here and starting anew. But that's the risk we run. But y'all let me know down below, man, how do y'all feel about Antonio Pierce? Do you think he's retained a job? And that leads me to the last thing, all right? I think in order for him to really, really secure his job, one, if he walks around and beats KC this week, I think the job is his. I personally do. I personally think, and don't be surprised, if he beats Kansas City this weekend, you heard it first. The job is his. I think that'll be enough for Mark Davis to say, okay, you know, you won your first two. You were competitive in Miami, a tough environment, and you beat our most hated division rival. Job's yours. You know, so I think that'll be a good thing. If he does that, I think that'd be something in everybody's eyes that opens everybody's eyes to say, okay, that's our guy. So I believe that'll be it right there. But y'all let me know, what do you think he has to do in Mark Davis's eyes for him to actually get the job? Let me know down below. Make sure you tapping on the like, tapping on the subscribe button. We close to 1,000 subscribers, baby, man. We close. So if you can, share out the content to whoever is a Raider fan in your fam or your friends, man. Share it out, bro. Have them come check out what we got going on over here, right? And hopefully we can get to 1,000 soon, man. But I appreciate each and every one of you that comes back and tunes into the channel, tunes into the content. It's much love, man. I really appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. So once again, make sure you guys are tapping on the like, on the subscribe button, and y'all know I keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown.
I need a bad bitch with an accent, serving in peace, still taxing. Just got tapped for the young Cash App, moonwalking like a young Mike Jackson. Yeah, shots to the head, ride clean and still fuck feds. Realest nigga and it's on my kids, so who the fuck gon' wanna test me, bitch?